Hi, I'm Bryce, and I'm at PAX West 2019. Who are you, and what is your job title?
I'm Niels Steneken, and I'm the creative director and the artist of Mutazione.
So can you tell me a little bit about what the game is?
So it's a narrative game. We call it a mutant soap opera. You're playing as a teenage girl called Kai, who's visiting her sick grandfather in the mutant village. It's like a really laid-back narrative game with musical gardens that you grow. And, you know, when you come there, you have a sick grandfather and you figure out how to help him get better. But it's not only about your personal journey in the village and how you save your grandfather. It's also about, like, the gossip with the mutants and, like, the everyday village life and getting to know every character and their own story. So it's basically about this ensemble cast of lovable mutant characters.
Why do you feel that this is a soap opera?
Well, a lot of the topics are like everyday life. There's like a drama between like who is the father of the baby, or like Spike and Claire are in love. Will they ever come together? Like Nano is falling into a coma. What are we gonna do? And stuff like that. So there's like all these kind of like a bit more soap opera topics, but underneath it there's also like this kind of supernatural element. So, you know, you could, for example, compare it to shows like Twin Peaks, where you have like the gossip and the drama between the characters, but at the same time there's kind of like this supernatural element and to it.
Can you tell me a little bit about the world that this game takes place in?
The world takes place in a kind of an overgrown, ruined world. There was a meteor crash like 80 years ago that killed a lot of people, and the survivors kind of showed strange mutations, and the nature was mutating and growing, and there's weird creatures in that world. So the game takes place in this village, which is built on top of those old ruins.
What inspired the aesthetic?
There's so many inspirations, because I've been working on this game for a really, really long time. At the beginning, I was a lot inspired by nature. Nature, kind of music that I listen to, books, different movies that I like, all kinds of things, really.
It seems that the music is a big focus of the game, that you're both learning songs and making songs to kind of progress the game. What led to it being such a musical game?
Yeah, at some point when we were working on the concepts, we came up with this concept of musical gardening. Like every plant has its own instrument, and while planting those gardens, you also create your own ambient soundscapes. Our composer, he was in like a part of that game right from the start when I drew the first concepts, which was like 10 years ago or something. And for me, like the graphical side and the musical side is like two parts of one coin. Like it's just as important as like the visuals, because without the music, I don't really feel the game and I don't feel the impact. So this is like super important. We put a lot of work into this, like our composer and our audio programmer. They like made all these systems with like the town music over the day that changes depending on what time of day it is and what day it is. There's like a band playing in the middle of the game. There's like people listening to different music. We have like a score and like and then you have the musical gardens that you can grow. So like, yeah, it's a big part of our game.
Who do you think this game is for? Like what kind of gamer would really like this?
I really would love to see as many people as possible play it. Depending whether you're in Europe or the US, it will be like from 12 up or from 7 years old up. I think like a lot of the topics of the game are actually quite mature. So I think it's like 12 years upwards, I think seems appropriate for me. And it's definitely for people that want to have like a laid-back experience, that don't want to feel pressure when playing a game, that just want to, delve into a universe, get to know lovable characters, and get to know a really nice story. And yeah.
Is this game gonna make people cry?
It might actually, yeah. I think there's like a lot of ups and downs emotionally. There's like terrible events happening in the middle of the game. When I played it and the music was in there, and also because I've been with this universe for so long and I played through it in like an almost finished state, it almost made me cry in the end, even though I know everything about the game and I know all the dialogues and I've been through all of this, right? So yeah, I think it does have an emotional impact, but depends on who plays it, I guess, and what your response is.
So this game has a lot of dialogue choices. Or is that going to kind of decide how the story plays out? Or are you going to maybe be missing things if you make different choices?
Well, the dialogue choices will not really impact the story. The story is actually quite linear, but the way you approach the story is pretty open. You have a journal where you can see what kind of encounters will progress the story, but before you do that, you can just go explore and find characters and find more about the backstory. So the only thing you will miss out might be some delightful conversations with some characters that you, when you kind of go right through to the goal of the game. But otherwise, there's no like totally branching narrative or anything.
What devices will this game be coming out for?
It's announced for PlayStation 4 and PC and Mac. It's going to be on Steam and good old games and other platforms, itch.io. And it's coming out pretty soon. I can't tell you the exact release date yet because we have some coordination with different platform holders. But it's going to be very soon.
Is there anything else you want people to know about your game?
If you like lovable mutant characters and a good story and a chilled experience, go play our game.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.